So guys, we've gotten the casting list for the upcoming Obi-Wan show that's gonna release on Disney+. I think they're starting to shoot in April, so it's still gonna take a while, but we're not that far off. And I want to go through the casting with you guys today, with all the decisions, the characters, the people, speculate a bit to whom they might portray in the show, and also speculate a little bit on the narrative, the story, because obviously the characters give a little bit away, like where the story may go. So if you don't want to hear any speculation and just have your own thoughts where it might go, then probably shouldn't watch this video. I'm not going to spoil anything, so to say, but I will give my open opinion and thoughts on all these characters and actors. We don't know all of them, so be warned, I'm going to speculate. So here we are. This is, by the way, the original tweet. Where is it? It's right here. From Star Wars. Production begins soon on Obi-Wan Kenobi, a special event series coming to Disney+. So you better be registered with Disney+, because there is no other way of watching a show like this on the internet. And they posted this image which reveals most characters that are going to be in the show. Ewan McGregor, don't have to say anything about it, great actor. He's totally going to be able to pull this show and carry it on his shoulders. He is Obi-Wan, people are excited, people are hyped, they want to see him reprise the role. So it's just great. And then Hayden Christensen, I think that's the biggest reveal, right? People are very, very hyped about Hayden Christensen coming back. And here's my take on this. When I first heard it, I was like, right, but we know that when Obi-Wan meets Darth Vader on the Death Star in A New Hope, he says something along the lines of, "I've been waiting for you, Obi-Wan. We meet again at last. The circle is now complete. I have..." that's a bit more the Emperor right there, isn't it? "When I left you, I was but the learner. Now I am the master." So he says that, which strongly indicates that they haven't seen each other for a very long time. Now, this plays 10 years after the end of episode 3. But coming from this quote, I thought when I first heard about it, it's like, okay, probably it's going to be like flashbacks. You know, imagine they do kind of a double story thing, right? Like one happens on Tatooine, he is in exile, Obi-Wan is in exile. But then you also have like a kind of memory side story that he remembers or something, where you have Hayden Christensen and still as Anakin being Obi-Wan's Padawan, right? And maybe you have some kind of story that then somehow ultimately leads up to something. But I didn't think that they're just going to bring back Hayden Christensen as Vader, because it didn't really make that much sense to me. However, as we know from Disney, not everything always has to make sense. It mainly has to make money. So we've gotten this lovely quote or piece of information from Disney that says Obi-Wan actor Ewan McGregor says he and Darth Vader will have another swing at each other before the end of the Disney Plus series, with Lucas Kathleen Kennedy calling it the rematch of the century. Okay? I mean, I'm not going to overpromise here or anything, like build up a bit too much hype for something maybe, but it's the rematch of the century. And mainly it is that because Disney needs the rematch of the century, because a lot of their brand is just ruined. Let's put it this way. So Kathleen Kennedy promises it's going to be great, and if we trust someone, then it's Kathleen Kennedy. And as Fish down here comments quite rightly, can Obi-Wan fight Kathleen Kennedy instead? Those are the questions. Right? Can we not have like a giant fight off between Kathleen Kennedy and a lot of Jedis? She's some kind of Sith Lord or something. You see, that's like a new character. Bring in a new character. Bring in Kathleen Kennedy and somehow, you know, he's on Tatooine. It's all a big coincidence. It has nothing to do with Luke or Vader. It's just somehow that there's the Sith hidden on Tatooine. And Obi-Wan has to do the job, right? Season 1 already written. Writes itself, right? You create a new story, a new universe. Something like The Mandalorian did. Because The Mandalorian didn't need... Yes, there was Luke in the end, hashtag spoiler, but it didn't need the Skywalkers, it didn't need the Millennium Falcon or Han Solo or Chewie or any of this. They took some cues and characters from Clone Wars, which I think went down really well with the fans, so they might do that here as well. There's a bit of speculation, we'll talk about that later. But I just feel it's a bit of a missed opportunity here, right? Because you really could create like a Tatooine-driven story, muddy and dirty, about Obi-Wan's exile, his efforts not to be caught, you know, close encounters in parts with the Empire and stuff. But in my opinion, they should leave Vader out of it, at least for the first few seasons. But it looks like they're gonna have some kind of rivalry duel thing going on by the end of season 1, which indicates to me that parts or big parts of season 1 are probably about the Jedi mind connection between Vader and Obi-Wan and how he tries to find him, and they're gonna build on that, which makes sense. But to be honest, I hoped that this would take a complete different turn, because for me, Obi-Wan is in exile here, right? So there shouldn't be any Vader. The whole point is that Vader can't find him. He doesn't know where he is. He's in exile. And in my mind, when they meet each other on the Death Star in A New Hope, Vader still had no idea where Obi-Wan was all the time, right? That he was hiding on Tatooine. So while I of course appreciate that we get Hayden Christensen kind of reappraising the role as Vader or as Anakin or whatever it's going to be, at the same time I feel like it's a bit of a missed opportunity to take this into a complete different direction. So let's get into the characters here. So we have Moses Ingram, who we know from shows like The Queen's Gambit, and I think she gave a bit of a hint. Let's read about it. Moses Ingram appears to have shared an interesting tidbit about her character in the upcoming Obi-Wan Kenobi series. On Instagram, she shared her excitement for the news of her being in the Obi-Wan Kenobi series finally out there. She also offered an interesting tidbit by revealing "I play with lightsabers" in her post's caption. Ingram's post now has Star Wars fans speculating that she could be playing everything from Ahsoka Tano in the Clone Wars flashback to an Inquisitor. I don't think she's going to play Ahsoka Tano because Rosario Dawson was just so good in The Mandalorian. She's just perfect. I don't think she can just change it. I mean, similarities are there, I guess, to an extent. But no, I think she's going to play a new character, someone else, someone we haven't seen before. Then there's Joel Edgerton. He was in movies like Warrior, Red Sparrow, Bright, The King. I haven't seen any of those, but he does look a lot like Uncle Owen, so I'm happy with that casting decision. He's just perfect. And then we're assuming that that's going to be his wife, Bonnie P.S. I'm shreddering all those names, but I'm trying my best. Then there's also Kumail Nanjiani. We know him from, what was it called? Silicon Valley. Great show, really enjoyed him there. And he's kind of a funny guy, right? I think he's also a comedian and stuff, so he might be kind of a comic relief, maybe a new, slightly more lighthearted character or something. I don't know, like a companion for Obi-Wan that lives in the area. I have no idea. But someone who just brings a little bit of lightheartedness to the show. And that's just me speculating here, obviously, based on, you know, previous roles and the character of the guy. And then there is Indira Varma. Now, we know her from Game of Thrones, and she played like a really evil character there. There has been speculation towards her role in the Obi-Wan Kenobi show. Let me bring it up. People are saying, Vanity Fair says, that she bears a resemblance to Satine Kryze. You know it. If you've watched the Clone Wars, then you will be familiar with this character right here. And apparently, I not want to spoil too much, but she meant a lot to Obi-Wan or something, and there was this relationship, and she was the only person that kind of made him leave the Order, or made him consider to leave the Order. I don't want to spoil anything. So there is this kind of background story between Satine Kryze, this character, and Obi-Wan. And she does bear a bit of, I mean, the face more than the hair, obviously, but you can change that. That's not a big deal. She does look a bit like that. She kind of has that look to her. And then there's Rupert Friend. I have no idea who that is. There's O'Shea Jackson Jr. I feel I should Google this guy because I feel I've seen him before. So he was in Straight Outta Compton, Den of Thieves, Long Shot. Can't say much about these characters. There's also Sung Kang, Simone Kessell, and Benny Safdie. These are people that are gonna be in this show. I am excited for it, but I am a little bit worried at the same time that they're gonna force this whole Vader thing down our throat and that they're gonna make it too much about Vader and Skywalker and all that kind of, I don't know. I understand it kind of plays in that vein. It is, he's watching Luke and Vader's probably looking for him, and I get it. Like, I understand that it plays into it. But I was hoping that it would be slightly more of an independent take on it. Because he is in exile, right? And he has to hide, and he has to not be found, and he probably has to put a lot of effort and, you know, put his mind to not giving his position away to other Jedis or Sith, or I don't know, something like this. So I'm cautiously optimistic. I think there's potential there, not only because of the casting, also because of what we know about the show so far. The other question I'm wondering is, like, where's Skywalker, right? Where's Luke? Will there not be like a teenage Luke that kind of has a little bit of a role at least? Well, Luke should be 10, right? 10 years old. If nobody in that age group is in that casting decision, that kind of indicates that maybe they're leaving out Luke completely. That maybe sometimes, you know, you have Obi-Wan staring off in the distance and there's like a little boy or a young teenager or whatever, and that's Luke. I hope they leave him out, honestly. I hope they just don't even go there. Don't do the whole Luke Skywalker thing. We've done it way too many times. Do a new thing, do a better thing. I want to hear what you think. Right? What do you think about that? Is that like an indicator that it's going to be good? Are you happy with the idea that they're bringing Vader back? I get it, okay? I get it, it's fan service. I understand. I also want to see Obi-Wan and Vader fight. But it has to make sense, okay? It has to make sense. And if they're just forcing it into this, I'm not 100% on board. What are your thoughts, okay? Let me know down in the comment section below. I'd appreciate your comments. Thanks for watching, guys. Leave that like button that it's blue Is it even blue? I don't even know. Make it look like this. Thanks for watching, guys. Take care, and I'll see you next time. I'm out. Bye.